Hey guys, this is God of Politics. I'm going to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But in today's video, I will be doing another episode of my redistricting prediction series. In this episode, which I believe is number 11, I am doing the state of Georgia. Now, Georgia is a very, very interesting state. We've seen many internal shifts, especially in the Atlanta metro area in recent years, that have made many districts vulnerable to the Republicans that originally were safe in their column. You can see the 6th and 7th district here are both pretty solidly in the Democrats' column, whereas if we go to Senator 2016, for example, we can see that both of these districts are pretty solidly Republican. If we go even to President 2016, we can see that both of these districts did go to the Republicans. If we also look even at Governor 2018, and these are both districts that went blue, but less blue than they did in 2020. So these are undoubtedly districts that are moving to the left. We even see the 11th district getting closer here. But what are they going to do in this redistricting? Are they going to try and turn these districts both back to the Republican column? Well, I'll say right off the bat, that's not very easy to do. And yeah, I don't think that they're going to do that. I don't think it's plausible at all. Are they going to get rid of one district, which in and of itself, not very easy either? Or are they going to keep all the Democratic districts there and have 5 in the Atlanta metro area and 1 in southwest Georgia? Well, here's my prediction. I have 4 districts in the Atlanta metro area and 1 in southwest Georgia, totaling up to 5 Democratic congressional districts overall, 5 out of 14, with a 9-5 delegation for the Republicans in the House here. And you can see that overall the map is actually quite similar, at least outside of the Atlanta metro area, where there are some pretty big changes. So we can see here, of course, the 1st and the 12th, both pretty similar, especially the 1st. The 8th, pretty similar as well. The 2nd, pretty similar. 3rd, pretty similar. 10th, pretty similar, though in my prediction it does take more of the Atlanta metro area. The 9th is pretty similar as well, though parts of these areas in the southwestern portion of the current district are now in the 7th district in an effort to make the 7th district redder. The 14th does go more into the Atlanta metro area and less into this North Georgia part. Still very safe for Republican. Marjorie Taylor Greene can have no problem there. The 11th district I did make more safe as well by having less of it go into at least the blue parts of the Atlanta metro area and go further into these rural areas. But I will zoom in on the Atlanta metro area for a bit just to show you what kind of gerrymandering they're going to do here. So, of course, we have the 5th district that is a majority black district. We have the 13th district that is a majority black district, 75% black. With the 4th district that is also majority black, 57%. The 5th district is 53%. And then the 6th district here, which is 55% white, 32% black, 7% Hispanic, 5% Asian. And you can see here that they are also very solidly Democratic, and they take virtually, not all, but they take a substantial portion of the blue precincts in the Atlanta metro area. You can see here the bluest areas all put in the 13th, 5th, and 4th. Some of these lean blue to safe blue areas are put in the 6th as well. And then we do have some blue precincts stretching into the 7th. The 10th district also does take some blue precincts over here. This is an area of Gwinnett County that is much less blue than some other parts, but it has gotten a lot more blue. If we go back to President 2016, we can see that this is an area that did have a lot more red. Most of these precincts in this area used to be red. Now they're blue, but it is still productive to put it in that 10th district because they are less blue than the surrounding areas, which I'm putting in the majority black 4th district. If you want to look at the demographic, you can see why those areas are less blue because they are whiter areas. But that is why I have put them in the 10th district. But overall here you can see that most of the blue precincts have been put into these 4 districts, the 13th, the 5th, the 4th, and the 6th. Maybe you could do a little bit better at packing. Maybe you could, put a bit of Alpharetta into some of these districts, take some maybe of Sandy Springs out. I don't really know. Maybe take some of this part out as well. The precincts are not exactly easy to work with. You can see that these precincts really suck over here. If you spend a little bit more time on it, you can make a more clean map, but this again is just to give a little bit of an idea. There was no way I could draw all 14 of these districts in a 10-minute video, so I've drawn them before and I'm just showcasing to you what it actually looks like here. But you can see that this does do a pretty good job at packing. To anybody saying that you're going to get rid of both the 6th and 7th district, turn them into safe Republican districts, Yeah, good luck with that. I honestly, I'm a very big proponent of fair maps. I hope that the Georgia Republicans try to go for a map that, gets rid of both the 6th and 7th district, because it'll be a map that backfires on them, and then it'll eventually, I hope, lead to a map that does end up being more fair, because that should be the goal of fair maps. The goal should, that should be the goal of what people are promoting, and that is to have fair maps. And fair maps, in my view, mean to have communities of interest being represented, because you can have proportional partisanship in these states. You can make sure that it's even and lined up with the state, which isn't even possible in many scenarios. But overall, I feel like it's more productive to have communities of interest represented rather than having proportional partisanship, because when you can represent communities of interest, you get ideal candidates for that district, for that coalition of voters. And it does end up evening itself out when you do it overall. I've done a series of fair maps for all 50 states, and it does end up evening itself out when you represent communities of interest, even if one state is lopsided in terms of proportional partisanship. But back to the state of Georgia, that's clearly not going to happen. We're not going to have a fair map. This is clearly a very gerrymandered map. And despite it being very gerrymandered, it may not even last for the rest of the decade. You can see the 7th district here is R plus 21. You can see that the 11th district here is R plus 24. The 10th district is R plus 20. The 14th district is R plus 36. The 9th district is R plus 40. So the 14th district and the 9th district, certainly not going to be a problem. The 3rd district plus 24, probably not going to be a problem either. But the 7th district, which is R plus 21, and the 11th district and the 10th district, maybe we'll, have a little bit more issues. I don't think the 10th district, because it does have more rural areas, but the 7th and the 11th could get closer in the future, and that is not something that the Republicans want. And at the end of the day, in terms of the next redistricting cycle, it matters less about these congressional districts and more about the state Senate and the state House. Does that map hold up for the Republicans, or does it fall to the Democrats? But we have had some huge shifts so far. If you look at the 7th district here, we can see that this is a district that Mitt Romney won by 22 points, and it's a district Biden won by 6 points. So that's a 28-point shift. If we have that same shift in the next decade, this will be a D+8 district. Now, of course, that's disingenuous to say, because these rural areas are not trending to the Democrats the same way the suburbs are in its current form. But a district that's R plus 5, for example, could flip in a blue wave year, just like the R plus 1 district flipped in 2016, or the Georgia 6th district flipped in 2016, or the Georgia 7th district, which was R plus 7, almost flipped in 2018. It was about like a 300 vote margin or something like that. So Georgia 6th flipped in 2018, Georgia 7th almost flipped, and that was with double-digit shifts. If we see that same thing, or even close to that same thing, these districts could be getting in trouble. And that is why I say I do think that they will try to get rid of a Democratic district. I do think it will probably last the whole decade, but we really don't know what's going to happen. So overall here, this is what I think they're going to do. Some people may ask why I think they're going to get rid of the 7th district and not the 6th district. First of all, the 6th district is more Democratic than the 7th district. I think that Lucy McBeth is a better candidate than Carolyn Bordeaux is. I do think that it's not too difficult to shore that area up, because Lucy McBeth does live in Marietta, a very blue area. The Carolyn Bordeaux does live in Suwannee, which I believe is a more red area. So if you put her in a red district, she's probably not going to win. So overall, I feel like it's just a better idea for Republicans to keep the 6th district and get rid of the 7th district. And it looks pretty similar to the current map. I mean, the 11th district does take more rural areas, you could argue. It goes up here, which maybe they don't do. You could argue that. But it does take more rural areas. The 7th, of course, takes more rural areas and less suburbs. We've packed these 3 districts, turned it into a pack of 4 districts, including the 6th in that. But overall, I think that this is somewhat of an idea of what they're going to end up doing. Not a very fair map. Not very happy about it. I hope that nobody wants unfair maps like these, because they are just not productive. And do not represent communities of interest, do not represent really anything that I think fair maps should. So, thank you for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.